is it that I'm showing up to this practice right now? And maybe just allowing yourself to open up the sensory doorway of sound, the ears, to just listen for about a minute to this story that's going to be the anchor of our practice today. So Matsyendranath is known as one of the founders of Hatha Yoga. And there's a few different legends around Matsyendranath, but the most prominent of those goes like this. It says he was born in very ominous circumstances, like very unlucky circumstances. And his family was quite, they really adhered to if things were fortunate timing or good timing or not. And so he was thrown unwanted into the ocean. And after he was thrown in the ocean, he was swallowed by a giant fish. And that fish traveled all the way down to the bottom of the ocean, where the Lord Shiva was revealing all of the mysteries of yoga to his wife Parvati, thinking that he was so far down at the bottom of the ocean, it would be impossible for anyone else to be listening in on the secrets of yoga. After staying in the belly of the fish for 2 years, listening to Lord Shiva, learning, practicing persistently, the Lord Shiva witnessed and saw Matsyendranath's dedication to the practice and rewarded him by transforming him back into a man and empowering him to offer the teachings of yoga. And so for me, this legend of Matsyendranath is really a reminder that sometimes the most unfortunate circumstances can lead to really great outcomes. If we just hang in there and we do what we can from where we are, finding the good in the moment even when it's really hard and difficult, knowing that sometimes that difficulty transforms into greatness that we could have never predicted. So giving yourself about 3 to 4 breaths to just let that story land in the body. Try not to overthink it. Just let it land like rain kind of washing over the body. And we'll begin to enter the physical practice through breath work and mindfulness in a very simple way. So let's turn the palms to face up, continuing to rest them on the knees or the thighs. And we're going to take 5 really purposeful breaths together. Begin by taking your thumb to your pointer finger and connect the pointer finger and thumb. Press there gently. Take a full inhalation, noticing that contact. And a full exhalation, just feeling pointer finger to thumb. Continue middle finger to thumb, gently pressing, inhaling, aware that you are inhaling. And exhaling, fully aware that you are exhaling. Continuing to the ring finger to thumb, pushing gently, inhaling fully. And exhaling fully. Pinky finger to thumb, pushing gently, inhaling, following the inhale to its completion. Exhaling, following the exhale to its completion. Releasing that contact, palms resting open, gently inhaling, following the in-breath. Exhaling, following the out-breath. Keeping the eyes closed, bring the palms of your hands together and just start to rub them back and forth, stimulating a small amount of heat between the palms of the hands. And we'll take about 5 to 6 breaths with some gentle eye cupping. So cupping the eyes right over the hands rather, right over the eyes, sealing out any of the darkness there. Just letting the eyes really rest in the sockets, enjoying that dark warmth. Maybe this was Matsyendranath's view for the better part of 2 years when he was inside of that fish, dark, maybe slightly damp and warm. And all he could do was listen to the teachings of Lord Shiva. Take the pads of the fingers and start to gently massage, tap, or sweep the face, the jaw, the neck, anywhere that's requesting your loving attention. Matsyendrasana, the yoga shape, is known or translated to be known as Lord of the Fishes pose, a very apropos name for the legend. Let's release the hands and find our way onto all fours. Well, we'll start moving through cat and cow. So you can start to move at your sort of intuitive pace through some cat and cow, feeling that articulation of the vertebra. And maybe after a couple of rounds, you start to be able to link the movement to the breath in a really purposeful way. We'll take a longer warm-up sequence here. So we'll come into a neutral position with the spine. Take your left hand behind your head. As you inhale, lift your left elbow up to the ceiling, open the chest to the left. Exhale, connect the left elbow towards the right forearm. Take that twice more. Inhale, lifting up and open. Exhale, connecting, a slight twist here. Matsyendrasana is a twisting pose. Thread your left arm underneath your right, bringing your left temple to the mat, left shoulder to the mat. Now, sometimes we really twist to the right here, but I really want us to focus right now on opening the upper back. So I actually want you to let the right shoulder drop towards the floor and amplify that sense of the left scapula sliding off of the back towards the left. So we want that feeling of your shoulder blade moving off the back and the rhomboids getting a nice stretch here. Take one more breath. And then you'll anchor down through the right palm to unravel your left arm and immediately reach it forward as we start to guide ourselves to extended table. So left arm forward, tuck the right toes, slide the right leg back, and once you have your balance, lift the right leg parallel to the floor. Give yourself a moment to acclimate to this balance. And we're going to take some dynamic movement here. So inhale, lengthening longer from fingertips to toes. Exhale, sweep and bend the back knee. Left hand, just tap the right foot. We're going to take that twice more. Re-extend to your extended table. And then tap left hand to right foot. Last time, and we'll hold. Re-extend the table. This time, as you reach back, take hold of the top of the right foot. Start to push the foot into the hand, Utthita Dhanurasana. Now this pose is a really great preparation for Ardha Matsyendrasana, which is sort of the peak pose of the practice today, as this starts to introduce a mild twist in the spine, as well as opening through the shoulders. Give yourself one more inhale here. We have a sort of creative transition here as you tuck your right knee behind your left. Release your left hand and sit back. You may just sit back a little bit if the hips are really tight. You may come fully back into Gomukhasana. The hips are in between the heels here and fold forward. So getting this nice opening in the outer hips, which is also a prerequisite for that Ardha Matsyendrasana pose that we're working towards. Give yourself one more inhale here. And then you're going to start to walk the hands forward. We're coming back towards the all fours, but don't get ahead of me. Walk your hands forward. Tuck your right toes and straighten your right leg, but you're still at that diagonal. Look over your left shoulder and look towards your right foot. Yeah, so you've got this nice stretch through the right side body. Now as you inhale, lift the right leg up. It's still crisscrossed. Exhale, sweep the right knee to the right bicep. Take that twice more. Extend it back, over to the left, and tap it down. Yeah. Then lift it up, center, knee to tricep. One more time. Back, cross, tap, and then lift, come to the tricep. Then you're going to lower right knee next to left, 8-pointed pose. Inhale here, Ashtangasana, chest between the thumbs, chin out front. Slide to the belly. Lift 3 dynamic cobras, rippling up cobra, and release. With the breath, rippling up, and release. Rippling up, and release. Shift back to all fours and start to move through the cat and cow as we prepare to move into the second side of the sequence. I'm going to turn around so that you can see those shapes on the second side. You can stay as you are. So Ardha Matsyendrasana, there's 2 different versions of that pose that we're going to do today, is not a particularly complex, or it's not really known as an advanced yoga pose. Come back to neutral position with your spine, right hand behind the head. Inhale, twist open to the right elbow lifts. Exhale, elbow to forearm. Twice more. In fact, Matsyendrasana is really known as one of the core 20 asanas. Inhale, lift up. You probably did it in your first ever yoga class. Thread the right arm through, right shoulder and temple down. And remember, our focus today is on opening the upper back here. So you can let the left shoulder dip forward and really focus on the sensation of the right shoulder blade coming off the back. So as we become wiser in our practice, we recognize that we can do the same poses with a slightly different intention to get what we need out of them on any given practice. Let's press down through the left hand. As you unravel the right arm, immediately send it forward for that extended table balance. And then tuck the left toes, slide the left leg back, get your balance, and then lift the leg up just parallel to the floor. Give yourself time to really adjust to this position. Feel the strength here. And see if you can relocate the breath, keeping it really full and present. So it's not just a secondary thought, it's actually the foundation of the shape. And then we'll make it dynamic. So as we inhale, sweep the arm back, tap the top of the left foot or toes, and then re-extend to that table. Taking that twice more, using the breath to fill up the time of transition, and exhale back to extended table. Third time we hold, hand finds the top of the foot. We gently push the foot into the hand to access the twist in the back bend. So even in these holds, at no point is the pose static. The breath is keeping it really dynamic, really present with what we're needing to do to maintain apparent stillness. And then keep a hold of the foot, tuck your left knee behind the right. Now you can release the hand and sit back. And again, depending on your hips, it may just be the movement of the hips back and that's enough, or you might come all the way hips between the heels, Gomukhasana. So to really access the deep axial extension followed by the twist of Matsyendrasana, there are a couple of different obstacles that can keep people back from accessing the depth of the pose. And one of those is tightness in the hips. Take one more breath here. And then we start to walk the hands forward, but we're going to keep that left leg crisscrossed, but we're going to tuck the toes and straighten that left knee. Look over the right shoulder. Give yourself a breath or two here, feeling that extension through the left side body. And then we move into dynamic movement, lifting the left leg, then center and knee to tricep. Extend, cross, tap. Twice more. You lift, center, knee to tricep. Extend, crisscross, tap. Last time, lift, center, tricep. Then knee comes to knee. Inhale, broaden the collarbones. Exhale, 8-pointed pose. Slide to the belly. 3 dynamic cobras, rippling up, rippling down. And up, down. Breath filling up the movement. Down. First downward facing dog. Tucking the toes. Adho Mukha Svanasana. We're going to open up a little bit here, looking back at your feet. Turn your right foot out 45 degrees. Firmly plant the right foot, including that pinky side edge. Firm up that right knee as you deeply bend your left knee, and then let the weight of the body sink into the outer right hip. Now notice if your left armpit just collapsed to the mat, and gently lift the left armpit away from the mat to reestablish equanimity across the shoulders and the upper back. But then differentiate that balance in the shoulders by really sinking your weight into the outer right hip and the iliotibial band. One more breath here. And then we're going to go to the other side. So you might briefly pass through center, and then you'll turn the left foot out, firmly planting that left foot, even the pinky toe side. Really lifting through that kneecap of the left leg. Deeply bend the right knee. Keep equanimity across the upper back, but lean the weight into the outer left hip and breathe. 3. Staying really persistent and committed. Think about Matsyendranath in the belly of that fish. He could have given up and been like, well, there's no hope for me now. Instead, he studied diligently for 2 years. Come back to center. We're going to start 4 rounds of sun salutation movement to breath. Nothing fancy, just the classic 12 movements. Drop the knees, right thumb to left thumb, step the right foot forward. We're going to move a little quickly. Inhale, sweep the arms up. Getting that heat and blood flowing. Hands down, step it back, down dog. If you want to do knees, chest, and chin, you can, or straight to plank. And through that half push-up chaturanga. Either cobra or up dog. Down dog is position 8. You could lower the knees or step left foot straight forward, right knee down. Inhale, arms come up. We'll step forward, right foot meets the left, fold in. Circle sweep the arms or reach forward, up and back, 11. Palms together, 12. 3 more rounds, just like that. Inhale, straighten the arms. Exhale, palms together. Inhale, moving up and back, 2. Forward fold, 3. Left foot leads, left knee down. Arms come up, 4. Back to down dog, 5. Your vinyasa choice, 6. Back bend, 7. Down dog, 8. Left foot comes forward, arms up, 9. Right foot forward, 10. Up and back, 11. Close, 12. Inhale, release the arms. Exhale, 2 more rounds. Forward, up and back. Over the legs and fold. Right foot will step back. Option to take a high lunge here. Up. Down dog. Mindful vinyasa. Fluid back bend. Down dog. Right foot forward. Option for that high lunge. Front of the mat, fold. Up and back. Seal it out. Release the arms, bring in the breath. Palms together, final round. Up and back. Forward fold. Right foot. Down dog. Vinyasa. Back bend. Down dog. Right foot. Left foot fold in. Up and back. Close it out. Release the arms, close the eyes. Give yourself an intentional pause here. Maybe noticing you might need to cultivate a little bit more extension of the exhale to bring the nervous system back down, calming the body and the mind. And we'll begin to move into our flow this evening, opening the eyes, cultivating attention and awareness through the sensory doorway of sight. Circle sweep the arms out and up. Fold over the legs. Stepping the left foot back, lower your left knee, straighten your right leg. Giving yourself a half runner's lunge. Go ahead and flex the right foot. Give yourself a couple breaths here in Ardha Hanumanasana. We're going to take this into Parigasana gate pose. So walk the hands around to the left, and the left shin is going to spin back and around. Notice my right foot came down. Walk the hands up to the waist. Circle sweep the arms out and up. We'll close our gate as the right hand comes to the right leg, and you fold towards your right. Notice my right palm is up. I tend to do this intentionally because if my palm is down, I tend to push. If my palm is facing up, I tend to rely on the strength of my core to support me in the shape. One more big breath here. Lifting up and out of your gate. Big transition here as we kind of spin the shin back. Walk the hands forward. We're popping up to pyramid pose. So I'm tucking my left toes, hopping up, and I'm going to keep railroad tracks with my feet. So my feet are parallel and slightly wide. Inhale, lengthen your spine. Keep a long spine this round. You're going to get a second chance here. So really long spine. Right hip drawing back, left hip melting forward. This is a really big preparation pose, particularly for Ardha Matsyendrasana A. 2 more breaths. Coming into revolved side angle pose. Bend your right knee, widen your lunge, really take up your space here. Bring the hands to prayer center and lift the torso up so you're like in that high lunge position. Okay, we're going to take the left elbow to that right knee. It may not be a super deep twist this time. You're going to get to do this again. So taking that left elbow towards the right, maybe it just rests on the right knee or thigh. Maybe you're able to hook it to the outside. Now, when you get here, imagine a string to the crown of your head, elongate the spine. Now push your right palm into your left and try to move your navel to the right. Now spiral your heart so it's center with your thumbs. And then see if you can either look straight ahead of you or maybe up to the ceiling. So the whole spine revolving here. One more big breath. Then look back at the mat. Lower your left hand down. Reach your right arm up. Big breath in. Moving to Cleopatra. Walk your right foot back to the middle of your mat. Toes are facing the long edge of the mat. Drop onto the pinky side edge of your left foot. As you exhale, release the left hip, right arm down, and then dynamic movement up and over. 2 more of those. Drop the hip, reach the arm back, up and over. 1 more, drop it. Up and over. Watching here, right hand down. Navigate your right foot to the middle of the mat. You may want to watch this. Left knee behind the right foot. Keep extending it forward. Surprise, you're in Ardha Matsyendrasana A prep. Circle sweep the arms out and up. Right hand behind you. Left hand could come to the knee or elbow could hook outside, just like we just did in our twist. Key 1, lengthen the spine up. Key 2, navel twists, heart twists, head twists. Activate that left leg, flex that left foot. 2 more big expansive breaths here. 1 more breath. Look forward, unwind the twist. Take your right leg, Janu Shirshasana A, and just take your right foot to the inside of your left thigh. Yeah, circle sweep the arms out and up. Folding forward, 3 full breaths. So it seems to me that one of the questions that Ardha Matsyendrasana really asks of us is it really challenges us to ask, okay, like what can I do from here? Because when Matseyendranath was in the belly of the fish, he could have just been totally apathetic and given up. And instead he really said, okay, here I am. This is the reality of my situation. What now? Reach the fingertips forward, coming up. And then reach your right hand behind you. Ardha Mandalasana, half circle, back bend. Lift your pelvis. I kind of sweep my right knee underneath me a little bit. Lift my chest, open up, half circle pose. Now, surprise, surprise, we're gonna start the sequence on the second side from right here. So look down, walk your hands in front of you, bring your hands up to your waist. You're in gate pose on the other side. Left hand to left leg, right arm up, lean to your left. Here's your pose. An incredible lesson from Matsyendranath is that of persistence, of not giving up, even in circumstances that seemed inevitably dark and damning. Come all the way up, bring your hands and spin them to the front of the mat. Pyramid pose, tuck your right toes, lift your right knee, railroad track those feet. Lengthen your spine, nice and long, and give yourself 3 breaths here. And the thing about twisting, like we do in Matsyendrasana, is you're really faced to deal with what's going on in your body, in your spine, in your hips, even in your mind. Let's start to bend the left knee. Let yourself widen your lunge to really take up your space. Give the pelvis somewhere to go. And then hands come together, lift up. Don't rush this. Lengthen the spine. Come out of your waist. And then either bring right elbow, maybe it's just to the top of the thigh. Maybe you can hook it over. And then as I push down through my left hand, I'm starting the twist from way down here in the belly, moving the belly around. Then that opens the heart and then my head. So really progressive movement. 2 more breaths. And then come out the same way. So release your head to the mat first. There's your balance. Now soften the heart. Bring the right palm down. Reach your left arm up, and we come into Cleopatra. Wiggle the left foot back. Left toes face the long edge of the mat, and start that dynamic movement. Drop and reach back, and then reach up and over. This is opening up that hip. Drop and reach back. Feel that little massage in the left hip, up and over. One more. Drop and reach. Then up and over. Big transition. Left hand down. Walk the left foot to the middle of your mat. Then tuck the right knee behind the left ankle. Anchor the pelvis. Extend the right leg forward. Take the arms out and up. Left hand behind you. It could be right hand or right elbow hooking around. And then notice how scrunched, even me right here, I'm like way down. Lift up and then move your navel to the left. Now let your heart move around and then your head. And it's not cheating. Maybe let your left hip come back a tiny bit. The left sitting bone, just slide it back a tiny bit. Good. One more breath. Look forward, unwind the twist. Take the left foot to the right inner thigh. Circle sweep out and up. And forward fold. So when we're in those deep twists, we are immediately aware. Am I bloated? Is my breathing constricted? Are some of my muscles stiff? And so when we really observe what's happening in the twist, even if it's difficult, we realize where we need to make peace with what is, or where we maybe need to make a change or a shift. So reach the arms up. Take the left hand behind you, Ardha Mandalasana, half circle, pelvis lifts. I slide my left knee back a little bit, then I open up my pelvis. Nice big semicircular pose here. And then we get to go through the whole sequence again with a few different optional add-ons. So look down, walk the hands around to the right, and then walk the hands up and in. Slightly different version of Padikasana. Lift your toes up to the ceiling so you're on the heel of the right foot. Arms, right arm is going to reach towards that left knee, left arm up and over. So I'm really having to use my core, and I have a smaller center of balance on that right leg. Be a little bit brave about how far you go in the pose. And then start to lift up and out of the gate. Walk the hands to the front of the mat, pyramid pose. So I'm going to tuck my left toes, lift my left knee. This time, plant your left heel at a 45-degree angle. Really traditional Parvati. Pull the right hip back, spin the left hip forward. Inhale, lengthen the spine. This time I'm going to let you forward fold and round the spine a little bit. 3 breaths. Just like Matseyendranath, staying really persistent and committed to the work in front of you. Just asking that question, what can I do from where I am? Spin onto the ball of your left foot. Wiggle that foot back so the pelvis has somewhere to sink into. Lift the palms together. Inhale. Exhale, hook left elbow outside right knee. Now this time, establish your twist. Lengthen the spine. Start with the navel, move it to the right, then the heart. Maybe this time, you're gonna open your wings. So the left hand may come down to a block or the floor, and the right arm may come up. Big breaths here. Then unwind first with the head. Then release that bind. We're going to take left hand down. Wiggle right foot back, Cleopatra pose. Right arm is up. We drop the left hip, reach the right arm back. Same dynamic movement, up and over. 2 more. Hip down, hip up. Release and reach. Press up and over. Right hand down, right foot walks to the middle of the mat. Ardha Matsyendrasana B. Left knee behind the right heel. It stays tucked this time. This is the B version of the pose. Arms sweep out and up. Right hand behind, either left hand or left elbow. Inhale, lengthen tall. Exhale, maybe the right sitting bone slides back. Then the navel moves to the right. Heart, head. Option to extend the left fingertips to the floor. Look over your right shoulder. 2. Looking forward. Unwind the twist. You could repeat Janu Shirshasana A or take the right foot into the crease of the left hip. Ardha Padma Padmottanasana. Left leg extends. Half-bound lotus pose is the option here. You could take the bind if you wanted to wrap the right hand behind you. Could just rest on the low back, or it could find the right big toe. Left arm reaches up, folding in. And notice my left elbow comes down alongside my left shin bone. This allows me to draw the spine and the heart forward and to give myself a directionality to the pose. Thinking of this pose, the spinal twists, as learning how to penetrate layers of ourself by steadily going deeper. If you have a bind, release it, and then reach the left fingertips forward and up. Half moon pose, so you'll come out of that half lotus, right hand behind you, find your half circle, opening up the spine. Last time through the sequence, walk the hands around and forward, and then coming up onto the waist. We took this slightly different version of gait. So you pop up onto the left heel, toes up. And then my left hand reaches down and across, right arm up and over, and I reach. There's a tendency to collapse the chest here, staying really lateral with this flexion. And then letting an in-breath pick you up. Walk the hands forward and around. Pyramid pose, really classic. So extending that right leg and planting the right heel at a 45-degree angle. Inhale, lengthening the sides of the body. And exhale, dropping in for 3 full breaths. Really responding to the work of the present moment in the body. What needs tending to here? And then pivoting onto the ball of the right foot, let the pose get bigger so that the pelvis has somewhere to go. Then lift up and don't rush. The transition really is the practice here. So right elbow somewhere in relationship with that right knee and thigh. And then once you get that nice deep twist, you may lower the right hand to blocker floor. Navel has to shift. Heart opens. Left arm up. Big breath. Find somewhere in the body where the breath feels spacious. Breathe there. Then looking down, release the twist. Right hand comes down to the inside of the left foot. Left foot migrates around. Cleopatra, that dynamic movement. You drop the hip and then you lift it up and over. Twice more, drop. Up and over. One more, drop. Up and over, left hand down, left foot to the middle of the mat. And then Ardha Matsyendrasana B, right knee behind the left foot, pelvis anchors down. Good. Reaching up. Left hand back, right either hand or elbow. And then I really mean it. Take the left sitting bone, Let it move back a little bit. Did everybody see that? This is where I was. Move the left hip back. Now the belly has space to move to the left. Then the heart, then the head. And then you have the option to extend the left arm. 2, 'Looking forward, unraveling either Janu Shirshasana A or half lotus. Left foot comes up to the crook or the crease of the right leg extends forward. If you're craving that bind, it would be the left hand that comes around to the left big toe. Reach the right arm up and folding in. So the mythology of Matsyendranath really reminds us that really crappy circumstances can lead to absolutely magnificent outcomes. If we stay persistent and committed, and we just ask, what can I do from where I am? Coming out and up, no back bend here. We're going to extend that left leg forward. Come forward, hips in the middle of the mat, and starting to come onto our backs as we prepare to kind of close out this really deep twisting practice. As you find your spine on the mat, draw the knees in towards the chest. It's likely going to feel really good to have a little bit of a compression on the spine here, kind of flattening it out. We'll shift into happy baby pose here, clasping hold of outer feet or ankles, letting the tops of the thighs melt downwards. And sometimes we find the body naturally wants to kind of rock itself, a really soothing, sort of closing movement to the body. As you're ready to move into your final relaxation, extending the legs and the arms, letting the eyes close. Scanning the face, the neck, and the shoulders, releasing any tension there. Scanning the arms, the hands, and the upper chest, releasing tension there. Scanning the abdomen, pelvis, hips, and upper thighs, releasing any tension there. Scanning knees, calves, ankles, and feet, releasing any tension there. Allowing the body to relax effortlessly in 1 minute of silence. Allowing your next breath to intentionally be full and a bit more energized. And as that breath deepens, allow subtle movement through the fingers and toes, wrists and ankles. Maybe a full body stretch feels good. And then in your own way and time, making your way back up to a comfortable seat. And we'll close the practice the same way that we began it, with these 5 intentional breaths. So bringing the hands to the lap or the thighs, palms facing upwards. Bringing pointer finger to thumb, gently pressing as you inhale fully. And exhale fully. Thumb to middle finger, inhaling, aware that you are inhaling. Exhaling, aware that you are exhaling. Ring finger, inhaling, following the inhale to completion. Exhaling, following the exhale to completion. Pinky to thumb, in breath. Out breath. Palms open and receiving, in breath. Out breath. Bringing the palms of the hands together in deep gratitude for our time together, for the teachers that inform how I show up to guide you. Jai Shri Sakaru Maharaj Ki.